Good evening, all you creatures of the night. Tonight we take you back, 10 years in fact, to your high school reunion. A journey into your past, a time to catch up with old friends and reminisce over the past decade. Of course that is if you haven't been creeping them on Facebook already. Several memories will be shared over drinks and a hearty laugh. Although what if everyone wasn't so happy with the way things turned out? What if after all these years they still hold a grudge? What if they just snap? You're all trapped together in an isolated home while some lunatic is out there for payback over some botched prank. Who will be the most likely to die? This is It Records. I'm one of your hosts as always, Matt Johnson, and I'm joined with the beautiful, talented, always just there for
always
you,
be
Hansen.
Closing. Glenn Glaring, whatever. God damn, I fucked up the title.
Always be closing.
But you're such a... I hate you so much right No, I don't hate you. But you're just like... When I was hearing you doing that intro, I was like, God, he's such a better writer than I am, that son of a bitch.
Oh, you're too kind, Pete. You're too kind. I enjoy writing up the intros, and I hope they come across like I put some effort into them.
And I keep...
because I don't.
I keep skipping the creepy headline because I am forfeiting that right this week as... you know, I think it didn't really need one. Or I'm lazy, you know. Pick your favorite.
I like to think we didn't need one. This week, everybody, on the podcast, for catching up with us, we're doing the movie Most Likely to Die, 2016. So, by my calculations, that's the current year. So, one of our most current movies we're doing on the podcast. Directed by Anthony DeBlase. Am I pronouncing that right, Pete?
You know, I have no idea, to be honest.
Well, that's pretty close. DIBLASAI. And this movie, it follows a group of former classmates who gather for a pre-party, a pre-game, if you will, at one of the homes the night before their 10-year high school reunion. And one by one, they begin to be brutally slain in a manner befitting each senior's yearbook superlative, such as most likely to eat anything, most likely to be up in lights. These are actual ones used in the film.
Can you believe it's been 10 years since graduation?
A toast to us.
Woo!
Hey. Cheers.
What is this most likely thing?
Our friends, such as they are, predict our destinies after senior year. Not everyone can be most likely to succeed.
It's 2 days. You'll live.
Hello? Guys?
Oh my god!
What the hell happened? All the fuel lines have been cut.
Guys, what about the phones?
Still no signal.
I'm gonna be sick.
Yeah. And that can get us rolling right into the movie, really, is that's what sets up the traumatic event from the past, is one of the main group of teenagers, they all did a yearbook together, right? Isn't that what was the thing?
I think I gauged that it was about, like, 80% of them. I don't know. I couldn't tell if, like, the real pretty boy was a part of the yearbook, because he was just, like...
The movie star?
Yeah, the television star, whatever he had.
Yeah. He who dropped out of high school senior year.
Yes.
We learn to go to Hollywood and became a huge star, like on a CSI type show.
And he was dating some supermodel and brought her with, which is pretty weird. Especially, like, I could see bringing her to the reunion, but, like, the cabin when it's your high school friends, I was like, it's weird. And then you see the creepy, I don't know, woodsman guy. I'm like, is that fucking Gary Busey's son?
Oh, that guy looks just like Gary Busey.
Because it's his fucking son. That's why.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was like, is that the guy from Starship Troopers? Gary Busey's son, who I don't know? And I looked it up. It is Gary Busey's son, and I don't remember his name still.
Well, how about that? I didn't even know it was him, so I don't know his name.
I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because I was gonna say his face is not as messed up because Gary Busey got in a motorcycle accident in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
That's really terrible, but it's accurate.
It's the truth. It's what happened. No, I didn't know that was him. Well, talking about him, I'll set the stage for the listeners. They're going to this pregame at this really nice mansion type house of one of the friends who played hockey. He played for the Rangers, I think they said. So it's this big house. What is Gary Busey's son's role? I didn't get. He's a housekeeper.
Yeah, he's groundskeeper Willie for the place, I guess. And then
the groundskeeper.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. Okay. So, other than Gary Busey's son, I think I guess there's two recognizable people from this movie. If you're fans of Glee, Heather Morris, who plays, I don't know, but she's, do you watch Glee, Pete? You're into Glee, right? You've seen all the seasons.
I've never seen an episode.
Let me find this. Brittany. She plays Brittany in Glee, and she's the lead in this movie, Heather Morris.
Oh, I had no idea what she's from, and then when I was gauging the actors, I was just like, wait, they're at the 10-year reunion. They look like they're like easily 35.
Yeah, that's a good point. They all look a little bit older, and some of them didn't look like the same age. Like some looked like 5 years older than.
The only one who was clearly the youngest was, whatever. God, her name was on her shirt. Ashley. That's the only only character's name I knew because her name was on her shirt.
Yeah,
and she was the most attractive one, I guess, stereotypically.
Oh yeah, because she's the blonde in the opening scene who does the striptease. She's supposed to be the sex icon.
Yeah, and gets in a sexy grad outfit. And I was like,
yeah, you know.
And I was like, what? What's happening right now?
Oh man.
I have a notes that I want to address to you at one point, and I just covered one of them was that Ashley was the only character's name I knew. This is my exact wordage. I was like, only person's name I knew was Ashley because it was on her shirt. Then she died.
and then she quickly died within 2 minutes. Right into the movie. Yeah, but I think Heather Morris, the main character, is Gabby. We got Brad, that's the movie star. Freddie is the recovering alcoholic, which is played by Perez Hilton. Everybody, Perez Hilton's in this movie.
That's what he looks like?
That's Perez Hilton, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is Perez Hilton gay?
In real life?
Yes.
His character was gay. I believe Perez Hilton's gay.
Wait, his character was gay too?
See, I didn't really know until he said why he stopped drinking was because he got in that car accident and his boyfriend died next to him. Like he was driving drunk and his boyfriend died.
Did not
in the car
catch
accident.
that at all. So I was just like, at first I thought the actor was clearly gay and was trying not to do like a gay voice. And
I got that vibe too from.
And then he kind of went into it later on when he got angry, and then I was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
And then
yeah, he threw me.
And then very gives into peer pressure very easily.
Yeah, he does. Instant. What was his superlative? Do you remember?
Most likely to spike the punch.
Spike the punch. Oh, that's right. He was the alcoholic. Yeah. That makes sense. What were all of them? One of them was most likely to get whatever she wants.
Yeah.
Most likely to be up in lights. Most likely to eat anything.
Break a heart.
Break a heart.
God.
I got most of
What
them.
was the one who died in the beginning, which we established was Ashley. That was her name in Lights, right?
Right. Which, just for reference to the viewer, each person was killed based on the superlative. So whatever.
I didn't really see that. I thought they really dropped the ball because I really feel like only 2 of the kills were like that.
I would agree. I think they wanted it to seem like that, but they were really nonchalant about it. Like, you're most likely to be up in Lights. Ashley's was definitely.
Yeah, that was very clear.
Like, strung up. But the one is to always get what she wants was, like, she died in the hot tub. And they had to, like, I don't know if you caught that one, like, line from off camera where they're like, oh, she said she always wanted to be in the hot tub. Like, that's a stretch. Because she wants to be in the hot tub. She gets what she wants. Yeah, but a lot of them were kind of crazy kills that didn't really...
I was just like... Another one of my notes is a lot of throat slits in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, just this killing of choice was like, I'm going to slit your throat. And that was that.
And Pete, for the listener, how were the throats slit? With what utensil? What item?
You know, I didn't catch it for a while, but I'm gonna go with the cap.
Yeah, the cap. The killer in this wears full regalia, as if at a graduation, with sort of a distorted mask, so you can't see the face. But yeah, a blue cap and
It was a
gown.
paper mache mask. From it looks like it was constructed from the yearbook, the opening scene where he was just cutting out each picture of the person who pulled the prank on said individual, and just made a mask out of it.
Yeah, and it was similar looking to what they did in the yearbook with that person's face, right? Who was that person?
I have no recollection of his name.
Of the name, I think it. Basically, there's these group of friends. They played a prank on some kid in high school that scratched his face off in a weird way and said most likely to die. That's who they believe this person is because the mask is that same image from the yearbook, right?
Yeah, they. Okay. Oh yeah, they just referred to him as John Doe. I think they like
John Doe.
They just didn't remember his name because he was such a loser. That they just
they fucked with him.
Like, what's that guy's name? I don't know, John Doe.
Yeah, and so from messing with him, he brought a gun to school, got expelled, and they basically ruined his life. Is how it's portrayed to us, John Doe. But Pete, going back to we were talking about the mask and the outfit, what'd you think of it? You're a slasher fan. We talked about this in a mini episode of the subgenre. What'd you think of this villain with the regalia?
I would say the mask was really what didn't do it for me. I was fine with the cap and gown thing. The cap.
That's an interesting touch.
Yeah, the cap throat slits was a little much. I'm gonna say that I wasn't a fan of this movie. I'm gonna flat out say it.
Sure.
As I am an avid slasher fan, but I'm just tired of. I'm tired of seeing them all, or just seeing them come out. I'm like, okay, they've been doing this since I don't know 1974, and
at least
heavily started in 1980. Full off the bat, like that's when they really came into fruition was then, and I've seen a lot. Like, I don't know, majority of my horror movie watching has probably been slashers. At least a third of them. I'm just guesstimating here, but it's got to be a third. And I'm just so tired of them. And it just felt like an 80s movie that never got made. And they're like, hey, we can do this now because Kickstarter exists. Even though it's probably not even a Kickstarter movie. But it kind of felt like that because, like, of all the no-name production houses that produced it.
Yeah. Snowfall Films and Mar Vista Entertainment.
Yeah, like I sure they're fine, but don't know much about them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I agree. With especially the killer. What kind of didn't do it for me as well is the cap and gown idea was kind of interesting. The mask didn't do it, but then whenever he surfaced, or the graduate is what the killer is known as. That's the name.
It's not a bad name.
Yeah, they would play the graduation ceremony song, whatever the name of that song is.
Yeah.
Da 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 da.
Yeah, I like that. I thought that was a good touch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they did that. It was all right. But now that we brought it up, the killer, the idea of a slasher killer, what are some things that you picked out that, I mean, maybe it elevated at all? You said you didn't like it, but elevated the slasher genre, or even just what did it hit? The tropes. Was it more formulaic? Do you think they didn't do too much?
I think they only tried to make it stand out by like the way they did like certain shots. To like, oh, we have like a pretty good camera, so we're gonna do some really good looking inserts right about now. You know what I mean? Like just like the cinematography of it was just like very, I mean, not that like slasher is gonna be like crazy cinematography wise besides Halloween, motherfucker, but you know, they can't all be like that, unfortunately. But this one was just, oh god, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say it lacks sort of an ambition to me, because I'll be honest, I picked the movie for this week and I saw it on Netflix and I was like, oh, a new slasher movie. I haven't seen like a legitimate slasher in a while be produced, and the premise kind of enticed me. Most likely to die. It's a high school reunion. The slasher's there, but it just didn't do anything. It didn't seem. It was just a way to sort of. Someone had the idea of killing off people by their superlatives, and they didn't even really think of good deaths. They didn't think of the plot line. They didn't think of.
They didn't even do. I feel like that's another thing I wrote down, that they missed an opportunity with most likely themed deaths. I think there was like 2 of them. That really, like the lights one, and then here's another. Full disclosure, spoilers right now for this shitty movie. Like most likely to eat anything. And then he was another one that I was like, oh, that was like when I really noticed it. I was like, hey, there's a themed death. And I was like, wait, were there other ones? And I remember the girl in the jacuzzi, and I was like, no, that didn't really work for that one. But she had really awkward sex with that guy where he just...
Yeah, that was a really awkward sex scene.
I wrote that down too. I was like, what did I say? The sex scene was real awkward. He was just flopping on top of her like a fish. That's what I wrote. Yeah. And there's a lot of just like face pushing away and like, and I was like, what? They really acted like they were in high school. Everybody. I guess it's like, it kind of makes sense like when you're with your friends from like in older time, you kind of like revert back to that time you were friends with them. But it is like they had a food fight in this fucking movie, and I was just like, what? What did this happen? Why is this happening?
Yeah, I agree.
It came out of nowhere. They like threw like raisins. I don't even remember what they fucking threw.
They're just having a good time, Pete. They're just having a good time before their high school reunion. And going off that sort of feel, I feel like a lot of shots just kind of stayed there forever, like way too long. Like the camera like didn't cut, it didn't move.
This movie
and she's
felt like 2 hours long. It was an hour and 20 minutes with credits.
Yeah, that's a very tight 80 minutes. It was opening credits and ending credits. It's 80 minutes long. It was so quick.
But yet, so long.
Yeah. I do give it credit, though. I mean, I like the setup, and it was just a new attempt at a slasher. Like, the tropes are there. The final girl. Sex is taboo. You got the traumatic event, the anniversary, the masked killer. It was an attempt at that. It just, they didn't flesh it out.
And it didn't do anything new either, which is like, that's like, you know, here example of like Your Next is like, obviously a really popular slasher, but like, slasher was definitely played out in 2011 when that movie came out, but yet I thought they did a pretty good job with that movie, even though it was like a pretty nostalgia piece, but I felt like they did enough new things with it to make it unique and entertaining.
I agree. I enjoyed Your Next. Pete, I've talked a little bit about slasher. Did you, from the get-go, I want to know, did you predict who the mass killer was?
Yes and no. So my guess was like,
I'll just say spoiler alerts in case we say who it is.
Yeah, I mean, I already did full disclosure spoilers, so I think we're okay. I don't think too many people are gonna watch this movie.
Yeah.
Well, we watched it, so people didn't have to,
Yeah, that's a shame.
I'm pretty sure I stole that from somewhere. So I said that it was like, oh, it's definitely that dude that they thought he ran away. I thought he like actually died, and then they found out that he died later from Perez Hilton, whatever the hell his name is. Perez Hilton. They're like, yeah, I caught up with. No, who found that out? It was the Joker guy. That's who found that out.
Most likely to get the last laugh?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, I caught up with him, and we became friends, and then he killed himself because I told him what we did. It's like, so I was like, oh, I thought he was the killer because, like, that's what would happen in a slasher movie, like Sorority Row or something. Like they thought they killed someone, but like, no, they're back.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, there were just clues throughout the whole thing like that I feel like, oh, it's not going to be, I mean, from the get-go, they tried to lead you on these misdirects that it's the guy from the past, which it could be, or the hockey player whose house they're at, who we don't see.
Yeah, you don't see him for a very long time.
Yeah. And he's just kind of, they think he's pissed because he got cut from the team. But what, I'm spoiling.
Yeah.
I'm going to say spoilers. I'm going to say what it is. I kind of picked up on it from the superlative. Like, if it was all supposed to be their deaths, they'll most likely to get the last laugh.
You're like, oh, yeah. So I think once they caught him and he was killed, and then all of a sudden there's another person there picking up the mask, I'm like, oh, it's that guy, John Doe. He must have lied about him dying or faked his own death somehow.
Oh, you're talking about the very end? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm jumping all around because I don't care.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah, you go ahead and do it. This is not a very long movie.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that was one thing I'll give it to about like the whole slasher genre and the unfulfilling ending, I guess, or the unending ending, where you think the killer's dead, but the cap and gown comes out with the mask and walks over the dead body who you thought was the killer. So it could lead to a sequel. I'm guessing there won't be a sequel to this movie, but that it keeps with the tradition of the classic slasher genre.
Yeah,
the immortality of the killer.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. I was just like really bored with this movie.
It felt like, I don't know, I wasn't immersed in it. It just felt like a bunch of scenes they kind of smashed together.
Yeah. And the main girl who I was very annoyed by,
Heather Morris.
And then she I was going to say that like she tried using like her poker skills to figure out.
I was going to bring that up.
To fucking figure shit out. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I don't even remember what she said, but it was just like, either we put it all on the table or, we bluff. That's basically what she said, but like she said it in more words.
Yeah. That part of the story blew my mind. She was like a professional gambler. Like that was her thing. And that's what she does, and that's the ending is some poker line to kill the person.
Yeah.
she knows how to bluff. She faked the guy out.
Yeah. And I was like, what? And then
This is not a poker
another
game.
thing where the killer, this is going back a ways, where he decapitates the supermodel, and I was like, what? I'm saying
Yeah.
what a lot in this episode because I was just like, no idea what was going on.
Yeah, that one threw me for a loop because that scene seemed really slow too, because the main character's in the kitchen. That supermodel runs in. The killer slowly enters the door, takes off the cap, and flings it at the supermodel into her neck.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to decapitate her
By ripping her fucking head off.
by physically ripping it off. Heather Morris, main character, does nothing.
Yeah, isn't she
Watches.
just screaming like the entire time?
Yeah, it's like he's literally walking. You can. It wasn't like edited, I guess. Well, in my opinion, where it was just like, as I said, the camera just seemed to stand there a lot. It was like, you need to edit this so it seems like it's more impending on people.
Where there was also like a couple shots of that, like I think it was most likely to break a heart, and then she's just like looking for people, and then like there's the killer, and all of a sudden he's gone. Do you remember that scene?
Yeah, like outside by the gate.
No, not that one. It was actually when she finds the alcoholic. I'm pretty sure.
Yes. It's like over her shoulder.
Yeah, it was just like he was just in a corner, and then he's gone.
I expected something to happen there.
But no, it didn't.
Yeah, also, like her death, we were talking about the superlatives and
Yeah.
death scenes. She just, like, I was strangled.
I thought, okay, it looked like her throat was slit, obviously, because that was just what he did. Or he strangled them with
The
a
tassel.
tassel, you know, like he did with the Busey kid. And I was like, oh, did she like shoot her in the heart? Because she shot at the killer thinking it was the killer, but it was actually a mirror that somehow was the door. And then I was like, wait, what?
Hey, hold on.
Where's this mirror at? And then she's like, and then like, it was just like it wasn't even like the door was like closed. It was just like a mirror was there for some reason. And then all of a sudden it shattered, and then all of a sudden she was like on the floor dying, and she was a lesbian too. That's the only way I could remember her as, because it was like the only thing thing was different about her. It was just like, oh yeah, I'm a lesbian now.
Yeah, and they hit it over your head with it, and it wasn't like, I guess I was hoping something would come of it, like there'd be something revelatory, but they kind of wanted you to see like, I'm a lesbian. And like, that's more like, she can be a lesbian and have a character too. But that was like all they talked about. It was like her girlfriend, and it's like, okay. But nothing more.
Here's the gun, and I only trust you to know where it is, and then I'm gonna put it back.
Oh man.
Am I being punked right now? Am I on an episode of Punked?
Is that the supermodel?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she takes off Willie.
Yeah, and I'm like, is Punked even on fucking TV anymore? And then I looked it up, and then I was like, oh shit, it is.
I stand corrected.
So like they brought it back, and then BET has a revival series of it currently, and I was like, really?
Wow.
And I was just like, I thought it was just like a really dated reference, but no, it's not.
Pete, then I've hit my points that I wanted to talk about. Is there anything you want to add to this 80 minutes of piece of shit slasher movie before we say if we defend or destroy?
Let's see. I'm gonna look at my notes. I mentioned the food fight. Punked is still on TV. A lot of throat slits. Most opportunity. The sex scene was awkward.
I love that your first notes are food fight happened and Punked is still on TV.
I'm like, oh, these people really liked here. I liked high school. Appeared to be at least 40 years old. That's what I wrote. Because like these are my notes. Like after the fact, I watched the movie. I immediately typed them up on my phone. Oh yeah, this is my favorite. You can't shoot that. It's steel. You'll kill us all. Actual fucking line from this movie. And then my immediate reaction was I quoted myself in my notes. I'm like, I'm no locksmith, but I'm pretty sure a fucking gun can open up a master lock.
Yeah, and it was just like it was a tiny little gate too, right?
Yeah.
That's not gonna. You'll kill all of us. No, you won't. You'll open the lock.
Like,
and another thing, that fence was like maybe 6 feet, 7 feet tall. You could totally climb over it if needed. You didn't need
if your life was threatened.
Right. That scene blew my mind where they're walking down the alleyway and she can't open that lock and the person's slowly walking down like beating the drum.
Yeah.
To the graduation theme.
Yeah.
And I was like, climb the fucking fence. Climb the fucking fence. What are you doing?
And then the girl comes, misses with the gun somehow because you know, it was a direct line of, I was like, direct line of fire.
Yeah, and within 10 seconds, the guy's right behind her, too.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how that happened.
He knows the land very well.
Yeah. Oh, maybe there was a second graduate. Now we're going to get deep into
the
this.
Velvetorian and then the Salatorian.
Oh, that's good. All right, Pete, you know, I couldn't find a budget on this film. I'm guessing low.
I'm guessing under $1 million, man.
Yeah, and it's so early that Rotten Tomatoes doesn't have anything on it. We're the first to jump on it. It came out, released at the London Fright Fest back in August. It came out here in May. September. No one's been on to review it. It's been out for 3 months.
Yeah.
Anywho.
I didn't like this movie. I am destroying it with fire.
Oh, I would destroy it too. I think we kind of hinted at that throughout by making fun of it simultaneously. Yeah. Sorry, filmmakers, but
we didn't. I mean, we didn't really talk much about plot or anything else to it because we just made fun of it the whole time, and that's all we really had.
Yeah, like I really wanted to talk a lot about the slasher like tropes, and we did, but like that's like all the movie was. I felt they were like, we like slasher movies. Let's have the final girl. Let's have a cool way to kill.
I feel like they didn't even know slasher movies. I feel like it's like
a very superficial level of
it. They saw like
the surface level
2 slasher movies and they're like, oh yeah, let's combine the elements from both of them and make our best slasher movie.
Yeah, and that's how I felt. It was like there's not much more deeper to go into it. It's just if you've seen a slasher movie, that's all they did.
It's like a really bad slasher movie from the 80s that never got made.
Yeah. That didn't leave the drawing board, but they went to Indiegogo and got a budget to film.
It's like the death spa of today. You know what I mean?
Oh man, it's pretty close.
Or there's like another one there's actually another movie that's along these lines. I think it's called House Party or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's like I think it is kind of. I don't know anything about that movie, but I feel like it's this movie. You know, just like it has the same like cover.
Yeah, we both destroyed it, and with that we're going to conclude this week of the podcast It Records. Be sure to keep up with us. We have the website. Pete and I are blogging. We're blogging all the time, keeping up on all the horror movie stuff.
Don't lie. I haven't blogged. I haven't made a blog. I'm still working on my blog post that I've delayed. It's been delayed for a while.
Well, I got faith in you, Pete. You'll get one up there.
I gotta get back editing on my script. That's what I gotta do.
Yeah, Pete's working on a script, guys. Working on a script. Just check that out on the blog. He's Pete.
I mean, it's already written. I already read it for school.
He already read it.
And I just. Yeah, I can't read it or write.
No, but check it out. He's doing a little blog post that's sort of the process of writing it. And I've read the script. I enjoy it, so it'd be interesting, especially if any of you are trying to write your own horror movie, just to get a glimpse into writing one yourself. Ask Pete any questions on the forum, start a discussion.
And I'll answer?
Yeah, Pete, we answer the questions people ask us. As well, bring up any questions, anything you'd like to see on here, or any movies you'd like to see us do. We're going to have blogs, as I said. We're going to have some contests coming up, mini episodes, full podcast episodes, mini episode. Me and Peter are going to be doing soon is horror movies. Should they be scary? Should they scare you? We're going to be talking about that one recently, so check out that if you have some time, as well as any other ones we have going on in the past. We've done a few. But with that, please keep in contact with us, and until then, as always, I will remain in the shadows.
Will you? Will you really?